Today we're going to talk about the volume of cylinders. Remember, a cylinder is a 3D figure with two congruent parallel bases that are circles connected with a curved side. These are technically not polyhedrons because they don't have all flat surfaces. You got this curved side right here, but they still are 3D figures, and we can find the volume of them. So the volume of a cylinder, we're using the same base as the idea of a prism, where you do the area of the base times the height. But in this particular case, since our base is a circle, we know that the area of the base is found by using pi r squared. So we'll substitute pi r squared in for this capital B and get that the volume is equal to pi r squared h. So the volume of the cylinder is pi r squared h. So number one, find the volume of the cylinder, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so V is equal to pi times r squared. So our radius is given to us right here, it's 3 inches, times the height, which I know it's almost like this one's on its side, but if you think about it in this way, you might be able to think, oh, that's the bases, this is the height. So 12 is the height. And if you multiply that in your calculator, you will get 339.3 cubic inches. Okay, B, the diameter of the base is 14 centimeters, the height is 20 centimeters. Now you don't have to draw a picture if you're able to see it fine without it, but if it helps you draw one, draw one. So this time they're telling us the diameters, the distance all the way across is 14 centimeters. And then the height is 20 centimeters. But the formula for the volume of a cylinder doesn't have the diameter in it, it has the radius in it. So we have to cut this number in half because diameter is all the way across, radius is from the center to the edge. So if the diameter is 14 centimeters, the radius is 7 centimeters. So our volume will be pi times 7 squared times the height, which is 20. And when we multiply all those together, we get that the volume is 3,078.8 cubic centimeters. Okay, similar to something we did in the last section, this is one where they're giving us the volume and we have to find one of the measurements of the lengths. So the volume of a cylinder is 618 cubic meters. So let me just go ahead and write the formula so we have that as our base. So they've told us V right there is 618. Pi just stays pi, so I can write that. It says find the height of the cylinder, round to the nearest tenth. Well, here we go. We got a picture that gives us more info here. The 4 meters is the radius, so I can plug in 4 for R. And we don't know H, we're searching for that. So still dealing with the same formula, but this time instead of searching to find the volume, we're searching to find the height. So I plugged in what they told me. The volume is 618, the radius is 4. So I'll start by squaring the 4. 4 squared is 16. So I need to divide both sides by 16. Darn, where's my calculator? I want to make sure I show you something here because this is a time where it'd be easy to make a mistake, which I'll explain in just a second. But 618 divided by 16, 38.625 equals, the pi is still there, times h. So our last step is to divide both sides by pi. So I do 38.625 divided by pi. So we get 12.3 meters as the height. Okay, now here's where I'm going to show you how a mistake could easily have been made. One way you can make this go a little bit shorter, back here we had 618 equals pi times 16 times h. Instead of dividing the 16 and the pi over one at a time, I could just divide both sides by 16 pi. So let me show you what most people would do in their calculator. They'd say, okay, 618 divided by 16 pi. But that answer doesn't match what we got when we did over here. Here's the mistake people make. When you type it in the calculator this way, your calculator follows order of operations. It says 618 divided by 16, then it multiplies that result by pi. So the pi is not being divided here, it's being multiplied. So if you want to do it all at once, you'll need to put parentheses around the 16 pi. So if I do divided by parentheses 16 pi, then I get the same answer we got right here, which is 12.3. So feel free to just divide all of it over at once. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Just make sure when you plug in your calculator, you put parentheses around the denominator, so it really is dividing the whole thing. Last one. An art museum is placing a sculpture on the stone pedestal shown below. Find the volume of the pedestal. So this pedestal is made up of two rectangular prisms and a cylinder. Now, I don't know if it's clear, but the two rectangular rectangular prisms are congruent. I tried to build this, not build, but I did all these shapes in Google Docs, so if it looks a little bit off, that's just because I wasn't excellent at creating it in Google Docs. But there's this rectangular base and this rectangular base are congruent. So if I find the volume of this one, I can just double it to include that one along with it. So we have to flash back to the volume of a prism for this, because this is a rectangular prism. So I'll say its base is this rectangle, which I do 1.5 times 0.5 for the length times the width. And then, 1.5 by 1.5. I didn't label as clear as I want. So the 0.5 is right here, it's the height. The 1.5 is this, which means it's also this distance here. So the 1.5 goes right there as well. So this is actually a square. 1.5 times 1.5 gives us the area of the base. So we multiply by the height of 0.5. So when I multiply all that together, 1.5 times 1.5 times 0.5, I get 1.125. So the volume of one base is 1.125 cubic feet. So that applies to this and to this. Now this is a cylinder. So for that, we need to use V equals pi r squared h. And notice this 1 foot is actually the diameter of that circle. So we have to cut that in half and get the radius is 0.5 feet. Then the height is given right here, 3.5 feet. So they gave us the diameter. We have to cut that in half to find the radius. We plug 0.5 in for the radius and square it. Then we multiply by the height, which is 3.5. So pi times 0.5 squared times 3.5. So I'm going to just round it 2.75 as close as that is to that. So it's about 2.75 cubic feet for that cylinder, kind of the column, so to speak, in this piece of art. So they want the total volume of this whole thing. So we have to add 1.125, because that's that one, plus the column, which is 2.75, plus we have another base, So these two are the same, but that means we have to include them twice because there's two of them. So we add those three together, and our final answer will be 5 cubic feet. So this little pedestal that's going to support a sculpture that will go on top of it. This is not the sculpture, in case I said that earlier. This is the pedestal the sculpture will stand on. This pedestal, its volume is 5 cubic feet.